Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show. Today we are going to discuss about the Middle East situation. As you know that the MOU being signed by both the Americans and the Iranians, there is a gross violation going on, and both the countries are attacking on each other's assets. Especially the Americans are hitting the Strait of Hormuz locations and the cities close to the strait. Since there's a difference of opinion between Iranians and the Americans regarding the flow of vessels and the ships from strait. So I have a very prominent guest with me, Dr. Saira Abbasi. She is associated with the Bahria University, Islamabad, with the IR department. Thank you very much, madam, for joining me. Can you tell me that how you see the present situation and the escalation which is going on? The world was expecting that after signing the MOU, there's going to be a de-escalation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wahid, for having me at your show. Now, if we see the current circumstances of the current situation in the Middle East going on in the Strait of Hormuz and elsewhere between Iran and US, it has certain connections with the Israel-Palestine war also, what I believe. Because the signing of the MOU and then the violation of the MOU is greatly connected with the thing that there had been the spoilers to spoil the negotiations, the mediations, and the diplomatic process between the US and Iran. It was a great achievement of the negotiators and mediators, particularly Pakistan and Qatar, to bring the US and Iran on the table to discuss the matter and to move forward towards resolving the issue. However, it has been spoiled, and I think that what I believe in the present situation is that there was a more responsibility upon the Iranians to make it successful as compared to the US. Why? Because Iranians, I believe, were having more advantageous position having in after the signing of the MOU, particularly bringing them back into the international economy in the sense that they were now a removal of sanctions by the US and the MOU. So I believe that there was great responsibility on the shoulders of the Iranians, but they did not comply by that. For whatsoever reasons, the IRGC they hit the Saudis vessels and the other vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, which was a kind of a provocative action by the Iranians, and which again sparked this escalation. And now the situation is that both are escalating, and this escalation would could have certain, I would say, notions in the mind of the policymakers of the US and Iranians. First is that maybe they would like to be more scoring the point of strength, so that towards the finalization of the agreement, if they would so, although now the President Trump has said that they consider this MOU as terminated, and many in the Western countries they call this memorandum of understanding as memorandum of misunderstanding. So one was that they were trying to achieve the point of strength. Secondly, they wanted to show to their domestic audience that, see, we have a great, a position of strength from where we are talking and negotiating with the US, and from the Iran side, and from the other side the United States. They also wanted to show to their audience that we are not losing the war. We are basically keeping the Iran on their toes, so that they should come into the terms of the United States points. So both, I think, are trying to. Both are difficult. I mean, they are the hardliners, both the United States and the Iran, and both are not ready to accept the losing side. Both wanted to show to the world and to their domestic audience that they are on the winning side. This is the major problem, what I believe, because if diplomacy has to be given a chance, both states have to adopt the soft line approach. But unfortunately, otherwise is going on.
Do you think that after the funeral of late Khamenei, because of the crowd that we have seen on the televisions, on the social media, on the international media, naturally it was a great, I mean, the number was very high. As some say that it was around 22 million people participated. Do you think that because of this gesture of the public, the Iranian government and the policymakers and their military, it got some kind of confidence that they can still keep on, fighting, and they can go for war. That's why they wanted to have a complete control on the strait, which, the point number 5 of the 14 points, which has been signed between the Americans and the Iranians, it said that the Iranian will facilitate, going out of the strait and coming into the strait, the vessels. But the Iranians are, defining it as a, control or complete kind of a coordination, that every vessel will have to get a permission before entering or leaving the straits. So that could be one of the reasons that the Iranians, they're starting hitting the vessels.
Many experts and analysts, they believe that the Strait of Hormuz is a consequence of the war, but I believe otherwise, because Strait of Hormuz is one thing which Iranians have been very much clear and had been using as a deterrence against Israel and United States of America. And for many years, United States did not attack Iran because of the same thing, Strait of Hormuz. That what if it blocked?
But
And
it
it
was
blocked the
not being
international
blocked the
economy.
way it is being blocked right now after naturally the Feb, war between the two countries, rather the three countries, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, now you see that there is a lot of things going on. For instance, there is a talk about finding the new waterways, finding the alternative ways from where the states could have the international trade. Then there was a blockade, and on that blockade, there is another blockade by the United States of America. So you were right that a lot of things were going on. But what is more important to understand here is that what you have mentioned in your question, the funeral celebrations or the funeral of the Khamenei Sahab, basically Iran should take as a wounded state, and it's kind of instrumentalize the sentiments of their public, and those were instrumentalized to that extent that you see during that funeral rituals were going on, and during that the IRGC had attacked the vessels. So that means that they have kind of got this confidence one. But I would also like to add here the role of the regional realignment, I would say, that has been in a process of formation. I was reading an article on foreign affairs in which there was a talk about, the writer wrote about the role of China, the role of North Korea, the role of Russian Federation, that these states have very close interactions with the Iranians in every other realm, particularly in the defense and technology transfer and technology integration. So they said that it should not be taken into underestimating that this new realignment that has been formed at the regional level would have a kind of new thing for the regional environment. And we have seen that today the Russian Federation has given a statement against U.S. attack on the nuclear facility of the Iranians. So there are multiple actually factors which are being played at this level, in which the regional environment and the regional politics has, because regional politics has great connections with the international politics. So one is that Iran is a wounded state, and to exploit sometimes at the international level. Second is Iran is the wounded state, and the kind of the public sentiments they have to satisfy, and of course their own sentiments, particularly the IRGC.
Well, the Americans have started hitting the bridges, the infrastructure, even the water resources. So, do you think that Iranians are going to retaliate in the region? Because the Iranians have been saying that if their infrastructure is being hit or attacked, definitely they'll go after the regional countries. So, do you think that that will also, add to the animosity between these regional Arab countries and the Iranians, as well as it will also further escalate the situation?
Yes, definitely, Iran would retaliate, because given their previous historic precedents that they have been doing, they always retaliate, because they always think that they have to restore the deterrence. So, and we have seen that they have already started retaliating to various GCC countries, particularly. But you're right that if they would do so, that would further enhance the animosity. Even they attacked the Qatar vessel in the Strait of Hormuz, which was one of the mediator in the negotiations. So that means that they are not going to see any or giving any concessions to any other states, whether they are their neighbors or what. What they are looking for is to basically harm the US presence in the region, but ultimately that would be destructive for the regional countries, and particularly hitting the water sanitation plants. That is basically one of the, I think, very important and critical factor in hitting the regional states, and definitely that would spark the regional crisis and regional war. So that I believe that this is not going to bring favor to the Iranians. It would further isolate Iranians in the not only international politics, but in the regional politics also. So Iranians have to adopt a very strategic prudence. They have to show that, they have to adopt that. If they won't do that, this will not going to bring any favor for the Iranians. This is what I believe.
Where you see the Pakistani role, because Pakistan has been, mediating between the Americans and the Iranians, and it played a very important role, which both the countries have, acknowledged time and again. But at the moment, people are looking towards Pakistan. They're also looking towards Qatar, because the Qatar is the victim as well. There are a number of attacks we have witnessed in last whole week. So, where you see the Pakistani role in the future?
I don't know whether we should celebrate it or not, but Pakistan has become the next security provider in the region, particularly in the Middle Eastern region and in the wider Asia. If Iran, like I said, that if they won't adopt the strategic prudence which Pakistan had been adopting and trying to mediate and convincing the Saudis and other region states to not to retaliate back or give the answer in such a way that would spark the regional crisis. But of course, when all the efforts of the Pakistan would go in the vain, in the sense that MOU is not now in functioning state, so definitely I would say that it would narrow the space for Pakistan's diplomacy, and Pakistan has to take side. And we all know that Pakistan has signed in a defense agreement with the Saudis, and similarly there are talks about giving security to the Qatars and to the Kuwait as well. They're also looking for that. So I mean, this is narrowing the space for the Pakistan, and Pakistan should not be blamed for that, because Pakistan has made a lot of efforts to make Iranians convinced to come to the table and to act prudently. But unfortunately, for whatsoever reasons, whether there is a lack of strategic prudence, there is lack of political prudence, or whatever you call it, unfortunately, they did what the Israel wanted to do, and that is the spoiling of or termination of the MOU. So Pakistan's role,
Well,
I believe, of course, would go in the favor of the stabilizing factor in the region, and particularly Saudi Arabia, because of course we have more stakes with Saudi Arabia, religiously, spiritually, and economically and politically also. So we have a lot of, our public has a lot of sentiments towards Saudi Arabia. So I think what Iran has done is only narrow the space for Pakistan.
Do you think that we are going to have a tough time within the country, especially from energy point of view, because naturally the prices of the petroleum products, they keep on going up, they're rising because the international market has become volatile. It is very, naturally being negatively affected because of the fresh conflict between the two countries.
Oh, definitely. That would be, I mean, the major implication that Pakistan would have, along with this implication, which is the economic and then the energy crisis. Of course, we have to face a lot of diplomatic handling situation because right till now we were kind of balancing between Iran and the other states. So economically, politically, and diplomatically, there will be a lot of implications for Pakistan, and Pakistan has to chart out a very effective policy to handle the energy crisis, to handle the political crisis and diplomatic crisis. Otherwise, I mean, there was a really, really tough situation for Pakistan. But one good thing about Pakistan and Pakistanis are that we know how to survive in the crisis.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saira Wasi, for your precious time. Thank you very much.